Awesome. That's okay. Hi, guys. It's Ona, your energy customer service rep from Chicago. Dr. Vicky. Jenn Lynn's our special guest for Mystic Sisters. Today is Saturday, October 19, 2024, date night. Okay. And Kamala's 60th birthday eve, which is going to be a whole party tomorrow.
I should check to see if she's actually, if today's her solar return or not, because it might officially be her birthday.
She's going to be 60.
Yes. She is a wood dragon. And boy, has she been a dragon.
Yeah.
Brett Favre is going to have to get new eyebrows because I think she singed them off his face.
In diapers.
Well, he knows where he can get those.
Yeah.
With the
logo on them.
And signs, right?
I gotta hand it to her. Every time I look at her, I look straight at her feet. And I see her in heels every single time. And I'm like, brave. So brave. Can you please change the trend? Because that's just torture. I'm not a high heel person. I haven't been for a long time. And when I was, before I had neuropathy, they're hard to walk in. Sorry. That's high heels are not like, please change the trend, Kamala.
No, yeah. She was originally, she used to wear those, Converse, I think?
She's still.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's,
Yeah.
But, she's got to do the thing. I think otherwise she probably wears Converse most of the time. First thing she gets backstage, she kicks those suckers off and puts her feet in something.
I hope so, because the bar has been lowered so low and she's really like bringing in professionalism like we haven't really witnessed in a long time.
Oh my God.
But the high heels is not necessary.
Yeah. I came out of high heels in the 80s when I moved to New York. Yeah. And I was wearing real high heels and kept catching my heels in the grates around the city. I was like, all right, I got to come out of the heels.
Yeah, it's a good way to like practically kill yourself.
Yeah, no, you guys, I see cha-cha
trying
heels.
To yank your heel out of a grate.
I see cha-cha heels in the grates in the neighborhood here all the time, or a whole shoe. There's a whole shoe in there. Like, I get it, like that's your fault that you did that to yourself. I can't. God bless, but seriously, I think we need to move this along so she doesn't, keep this high heel thing going. I can't do that.
I have to show you a pair of shoes that a lady brought me at my seminar.
Ooh,
very Piscean.
I've been wearing the hell out of them.
Oh, the kitten shoes. Those are Tom's or Bob's.
I don't know what brand they are. Sorrel, actually, but yeah, there's little cats all over them.
Oh, too cute.
Cats for Kamala.
Let's say hello to everybody. Beverly, kick back and watch an awesome. LLC, Paula, Constant. I miss 2-inch chunkier heels. You can wear them. You don't have to miss them. They're still in your closet. Kathy, good evening, Mystic Sisters. Happy to be here in my PJ with my tea. I did that last night, and I fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah, I was in my pajamas yesterday about 6:00. I had Michael had to go to the hospital to get a test, and they ended up keeping him overnight just for observation. He's fine, everything's okay, but I had the night to myself.
Yeah.
And like no husband, no nothing. It was so quiet. And I was like, what do I want to do on like my night to myself? And the first thing I did was put my pajamas on.
Yeah.
What happened to me?
Not even a glass of wine.
No, not even a glass of wine. See what I mean? It's like
no, that's not a bad thing. I used to like text my cousin. Is it too early to put my pajamas on at like 4:30? And she was like, no, it's not. It's not. You could sleep in your clothes and they're your pajamas. It doesn't matter. So The
When I
most
worked in the corporate world, first thing I did when I got home is put the jammies on.
Oh my
See?
God.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm gonna check on that Kamala thing while you guys chit chat. I'll still be here, but I won't be. It'll look like I'm ignoring somebody. I'm not.
Yeah, we're
Doing
looking
research.
to see Kamala's solar return, which isn't always. What radius would you give it? Like 24 hours?
Yeah, usually it's usually the day of, but sometimes it's the day before, and sometimes it's the next day. But that's because of the leap year.
Yeah.
And we had a leap year last year, didn't we? Or was it the year before?
23, I think it was.
23. So that means that most birthdays are a little earlier because we're on the, we just left and we're a little bit earlier. But I'm gonna take a look while you guys.
It's like a giant daylight savings time.
Oh my God, the full moon was so beautiful this week.
Tell me about your experience with the full moon this week, because you have a sun slapping right.
I've just been sleeping a lot. I was telling Una and Dr. Vicky, I got a sinus infection. It started in Portland when I was in Portland, Oregon, with allergies, and then the plane flight home and everything, it started going into my ears. So I ended up going Thursday to the doctor and getting antibiotics because it was like major pressure. I'm like, okay, I'm getting an ear infection now. I got to like do something. The decongestant for
ahead.
Aries is always everything neck up. Dental, ear infections, sinuses, headaches. It's always the head.
Right? It's the ruler, and everything, all the planets like interfere with the ruler, and the full moon was very dense energy. It was a super moon and really close. Solar flares causing auroras, and then weird temperature extremes.
Sitting right on my natal sun. I was telling them also in the pre-show, my sun is at 24 degrees Aries, which is where the full moon was, and it squares my Mars in Cancer at 24 degrees. So yeah, I had a lot, and I think if I remember right, watching your video, Mars was squaring the moon.
Yeah, Mars.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on, but I kind of slept through it.
Yeah,
I was snoozing a lot.
I think the sleeping through it. I think even the sinus stuff, because a lot of times sinus stuff like that is tears unexpressed, and you might actually be going through a healing process of something from the past, but you just are sleeping through it. Which, yay! I mean,
Yeah.
who wants to go through it? Who wants to remember a traumatic incident necessarily, like, while you're walking down the street, if you're going to do it when you're sleeping.
I was doing so much healing energy work at the seminar all day Saturday, both weekends, and amped up. Like I get so amped up, I'm hyper, and then kind of crash when I get back.
Right.
Bring my energy back down.
That is your body's response. That's your body's response. Is it pushes itself, and then you get sick. That's a lot of energy that's swirling around. I mean, that's a lot of work. It's really hard, you guys, to get in other people's energy, assist it, and things like that, and then pull back and not have it come home with you. It follows you home too, right? So that's sounds reasonable. Honestly,
I've been lucky; it hasn't moved into my chest. My lungs are clear. But I'm coughing a little when they start draining down the back of my throat. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Or when I talk a lot, I start coughing because my throat gets dry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is the season, I guess, right? I mean, things are, well, the plane. Forget the plane. That'll any kind of like head thing. It just always gets worse after being on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the pressure changes and stuff. It's really hard on your body, going up and down in the plane like that, even if you don't think so.
And I was taking decongestants to keep my ears open on the plane because I could tell, they're trying to stop up. My right ear is fine, but my left ear, after I landed, it took a few days. Then it I felt like I was underwater. Like I couldn't hear. Everything sounded like it was gurgling. And I was like, oh.
That sounds like Mars and Cancer.
Yeah.
You know what? It does.
Swimming underwater.
That's really interesting. I'm learning that Giblets is losing hearing on one side. All this ear stuff and hearing and frequency stuff is coming up and piling up. It's an adjustment.
I'm seeing more people when I do personal readings that are struggling with vertigo. So I don't, again, in the head, feeling off balance and woozy. Lot of vertigo going.
I think that's the dimensional shifts that most people, you have to. It's because
it's just shift or dimensional.
Oh,
not dimension.
Not Trump shift.
Yeah, not that kind of dimension. No, but really, I mean, we're actually at a different altitude. We're higher than we've ever been when you think about it in our lives anyway.
Yeah.
Without like taking a drug, I guess. But like we really do spend a lot of time in the higher vibrations. And you have to get used to that. It's like anything. It's like you're in a new space. That's my theory anyway. So I'm going to stick with that. So I looked up Kamala. Her birthday, her solar return is tomorrow. Now wasn't sure where she would be because she's everywhere, right? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I put her in Detroit because she was in Detroit today. Did anyone watch that in Detroit with her and Slotkin, who's running in Michigan, and Lizzo? Oh my God, it was great. It was great.
Awesome.
I
missed it. I've been doing readings today.
Yeah, I did not see that. I've been catching up on just more Trumpy stuff.
Everybody's working and I'm watching TV. No, I was working when I watch it. But it just happened to come up. It's really good. You got to check it out. I'll find it and send you guys a link if you have time to do it. Yeah. But
I think that full moon zapped Trump's brain out. I mean, he's just been awful this week and saying even more fascist crap,
More fascist crap, more phenomic stesias, more like inserting different words for the word that belongs there. It's classic.
Who dances like this to Ave Maria? I'm sorry.
That was so hard to watch. That
whole thing. Did you watch when he went from answering questions to deciding he wanted music?
Mm-hmm.
I saw two clips. One was when he wanted them to pay YMCA.
Yeah.
And he said something that was like off the wall, and then he said, "All right, let's play YMCA." And what's her name was standing next to him?
Christy Nome.
Was that Christy Nome?
Yeah, the dog killer.
The dog killer.
I thought it was. I thought it was
talking to him like he's a 5-year-old toddler. Like, would you like us to play your special song now? I mean, like kid gloves.
Yeah,
I thought that was John Jr.'s girlfriend.
No.
Kimberly Gilman.
Looked the terror in her eyes. You got to watch just that one clip and see the terror in her eyes. She's like, "What the fuck just happened?"
She didn't know what to do with him.
And then she's like,
very awkward moment.
Oh my God! It's like,
and and that's one of the other things, redirecting them all the time.
The town hall where it showed the women behind him rolling their eyes, I was like, yeah, keep going. And the Hispanic guy that was like, win my vote back, say something, to win my vote back. It's like they're doing things now in his town halls that the press should have been doing all along. They're challenging him. They're putting him on the spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Paula Z said the solar flares sent my depressant meds haywire, and I've decreased the dosage. It's adjustment on every level. And that makes sense. Absolutely. And it's Eliza Bassett's birthday. Happy birthday. Happy solar return. Yesterday.
Happy birthday.
So either way, Kamala's son in her solar return is assuming she's in the general vicinity of either Washington or Michigan.
Yeah.
She has her son in the 9th house of justice.
Sag ruled fire. That's where the Queen of Wands is coming from.
And both of them had Capricorn ascendants. So she's going to be all business, Capricorn ascendant.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we could, I would pick a Mystic Sister card just to kind of get a theme, seeing as we have the Mystic Sisters here. And I just want to tell you, Jen, how excited I am to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Y'all had invited me last week, and I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, no, hey, I don't blame you. Oh, the magical key. All right, I got to find the book. All right. I can make it up, but I'd rather read the book. Hope, faith, and gifts. So this we could just say this is for the next week ahead, right? Let's till Mystic Sisters meet again, right?
Okay.
Okay. It says, lost and alone in a deep dark forest, a poor bedraggled girl cowers in a state of hopeless despair. The dove above her holds the key in its beak, which symbolizes peace and hope. Drawing this card indicates that it is now extraordinarily important to have faith in a benevolent universe. You have become susceptible to fear, depression, hopelessness, worry, and wild imaginings of the worst case scenario. Isn't that the truth? You have found yourself in a difficult place, but the challenge now is to be optimistic, to look up and be aware that help is nearby. Use your imagination for seeking the best case scenario to achieve a resolution. Trust that you will again find peace. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the energies are intense. It's intense. I can't imagine what it feels like to be somebody who would support the ex-president and is not panicking right now.
But they might not even be seeing it. They only show us good stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
I mean, that's what we're seeing. But
what we're seeing is probably what they deal with every single day, every minute. So they're not seeing anything different.
Yeah.
So what question? Now we have a special guest star, one of the best readers on YouTube as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
From my own humble opinion. So what are we going to ask?
What do you want to ask?
Well, I'm terrible at making questions. That's my problem.
I think
political question or.
Yeah, well, we could do that. Well, yeah, I think
a week ahead.
Let's ask, will we continue to see signs of Trump declining?
I don't think there's
mentally and emotionally for the rest up until election day.
Okay. I'll have to grab
I know a lot of people say that he's going to hang in there. Everybody's like, yeah, he's going to. I really don't see it.
I think J.D. Vance is just hoping he gets elected so he can 25th Amendment him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's not going to get elected, so that's not.
Yeah.
No. J.D. Vance's plan is.
What's the question?
In the sky.
Will we continue to see a decline in Trump's mental and emotional health? Because it just like we were seeing it bit by bit, but it just took a big downward on a roller coaster this week. Like it really came out.
Yeah, it stages that way. And I would not be surprised if he's already on some kind of Alzheimer's medication. Because they want to start that as soon as possible. It's early, and he's probably been on that for a while. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay. I only picked 5 cards, but
what'd you get, Vicky?
I got the 6 of Pentacles, which is there's a sense of like balancing the scales. With all the sixes have that.
Okay.
It's like balancing the scales really. And then the next card is death. The Son of Cups, so that could be the Knight of Cups. Yeah. So I don't know. That might be his son. That might be Trump's son. I don't know. The Chariot, so something's going to happen quick. And the Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna. It looks like we're going to hear something about a quick demise. That's what this looks like to me. So you guys tell me what you guys get.
Well, I know he's canceling all of his events and stuff, but there's a lot of indecision, but there's also blocking him from being seen. I get he's got a female handler watching him, and they're working like in teams, trying to protect him from speaking in public. And I get steadily we will see a decline in him. The only up he has is from his pills, if you catch my drift, that he likes to snort, and that gets him talking a lot. But he's so erratic right now. They're just trying to surround him and support him and give him the fake news and whatever they can to.
Would you say the majority of that had swords?
A lot of pinnacles too.
Yeah,
a lot of pinnacles.
You know what? That's because honestly,
no, I only have one sword.
I picked 5 cards and 3 of them were major arcana. So we know that this is
my loser Trump card. He's a loser now.
As soon as I don't know if you guys can see this because of the thing, but as soon as you said that, Jen, this flew out. And this can be more than a positive yes than anything is the sun.
Was it the sun?
When you said, are we going to see a steady decline? It like slapped itself right on the table.
Yeah.
And then the King and Queen of Pentacles. So could be somebody covering something up, or, we're just seeing the best of what's going on here. And then the 8 of Swords.
It's like cutting his own neck almost.
A hot mess, and there really isn't yes, and we're watching this happen, or yes, and you might feel bad later because some of the mean things that you said just sound like mean now. Is like kind of like he's backed into this verbal issue.
They keep talking about how exhausted he is, and showing pictures of him falling asleep at his events. But I didn't get any exhaustion cards or resting cards. It's more like, the false uppers and downers that he's doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things keeping him upright. That's for sure.
But his time is running out. His time is there's no coming back from this. He's done. I mean, really.
Yeah.
We got the Death, the Chariot, which means fast, and then the Tower.
Yeah.
Done.
Very fast. Antoinette's granddaughter said 45 is upset that Biden isn't running now. He knew how to handle Biden. Well, yeah, that wasn't really competition.
Right. They were going to, go in the back of the diner and beat each other up, right? Isn't that what they... I'll take you back there. I'll beat you up. Fisticuffs between 2 80-year-olds. And the woman is just like, oh, God.
I know. In Through a Color Lens, let me post this one so you can see. This is funny. Has the menace now completed what he was here to do? Remember, there's a thing that he's here to do or teach us, and is it over? Pretty much.
I think that's up to us. He's here to wake us up. And are you awake? I'm awake. Jen's awake. Ona's awake. Everybody on this call is awake.
Yeah, and the people that are
the Republicans in the House, they're not. or they are and they're ignoring it.
Well, they're part of they're part of his, you know, he has, I think, a higher purpose, and they of course are his minions.
Yeah.
Right? Just like, you know, people who do good have minions, right? They're just his minions. They're attracted by his darkness. I guess.
It's like we're done with him and he's going to find out, but the problem is he's not done learning his lessons.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't learn.
I get the Hierophant and the Lovers. So it's like there's a contractual agreement, and we all have this. We all do this. We have some kind of an agreement, or too many acorns in the karma bucket, or however you want to spend, and know that you're here for a purpose. You are here for a purpose, and you contracted that. And no, this is his contract. It's not over.
So I got the victory card to start. What is this? The Six of Wands. Then I got the Hanged Man, and then I got the Devil. The Father of Cups, and then the Lovers. Right. So this looks to me like he's hung up. The victory, the being hung up, lying, the devil, right?
Yeah.
The Father of Cups, I guess Biden. I don't know why he would be here. And then the Lovers is about choice. I guess.
I get Biden too.
Right?
That's
can't Biden? Isn't he a political enemy of Biden? So can't Biden take him out with the six teams, the SEALs, the SEALs,
the 7 SEALs. Open the 6th one. He's not done yet. He's still got burdens to go. It's like this is my card for America. America sees the imbalance in the quid pro quo and the words that bully people. You know, so. America is done with him in general, but he's still trying to figure out how else he can make money. And I get there's something that changes here soon, some truth that Biden brings forward that kind of shifts the energy again. So something else we don't know yet, and that's like big problems for Trump.
Oh my God! Look at those cards. Yeah,
big problem.
Yeah,
like a big.
You know what? The number 6 is just pounding in my head right now. Everything's a 6. The devil is 15. 1 + 5. All these 6s are coming up, and I wrote it down. The number 6. So the cards are definitely trying to point to that number for some reason, and if we go digging, I'm sure we'll find a day or a date or something that's going to make it even more animated.
Maybe the 6th of November after Election Day, right?
Ooh. Oh, maybe Joe's going to die that day.
I don't know. I'm getting some other truth coming out. So it could be like through DOJ or Jack Smith or something, but
there's a lot. 6 days. Antoinette's granddaughter said could be. Yeah.
I have not seen the Apprentice movie Dro was talking about. Have y'all seen it yet? It's out in theaters now.
No, I will not pay money to see that movie. If it's free, I might fall asleep if I'm watching it.
The director was on with Michael Cohen, and I watched that interview, and that was really interesting.
I listened to David Feldman. I don't know if you've ever listened to him. He's fantastic. But he said that it opened, but it only made like $1 million or something the first week. He says, which is good because it means nobody really cares. Nobody's interested in him anymore.
Yeah.
It's only on in limited theaters, I think, but
I think they need to really sort of show how anybody, if somebody was very, very popular you'd want to see it. And this is something that needs to be shown so that maybe people can start to understand that was his path. And
oh yeah, I mean, I think it'll probably, once he's out of the picture, more people will probably, but like right now we're just like, it's like, Trump.
We don't want to see anything with him. It's like,
no, we just want to see him be held to justice. Anything else at this point is like, yeah, okay, we know. That's how I see it anyway, of course.
Deborah Wade said Trump's out there like Pluto. Yeah. Way out there. Way.
Trump's out there like Pluto. Yeah.
And I thought about Ronald Reagan today and about how
evil he was.
No, but how they tracked his mental decline and were able to point out things. And he was way more literate and well read than this guy. Even at the end, even when we knew things were really, really wrong.
Yeah.
Still better.
Did you see the clip of the child asking Trump who his favorite presidents are? And the first thing he said was Ronald Reagan. He said the child asked him, who was your favorite president when you were little? When you were little. So when you were a kid. And he starts talking about Reagan. And it's like, dude, you were in your 30s when Reagan was president. You weren't a little kid.
Yeah. But that's part of it too, is the collapsing timelines.
Yeah.
They don't remember that. It was like, it's the only word that he could put create language out of. That's all he knew what to say. He doesn't remember any of that stuff. Oh my God, what a mess. What a hot mess. Droney said, I saw The Apprentice. At the end, Roy Cohn seemed to be thinking two things. He saw himself in DJT and was repulsed by it. And he was terrified by what he had created in DJT. Probably. I'll post it so you can see.
Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
I was listening to,
I'm sure.
I think it was Roy. I was on Michael Cohen's, what's the name of his show? Mea Culpa, I think. Maybe it was Mea Culpa. I think he had two shows. Well, anyway, one of them, and I think it was Roy Cohen's cousin or something, somebody who had, and he said he died the most horrible, Cohen died the most horrible death. And when Trump found out he had AIDS, he totally, he's like, see you later, alligator. I'm not touching you. That's disgusting. And, there's a thought that Cohen actually had a crush on him.
It was funny because Michael Cohen was talking about at the end of the movie, right before Trump washes his hands of him, he does with Ivana, they do a dinner at Mar-a-Lago, and Trump was doing the speech. Now, the director or the writer of the movie wrote it all, it's not knowledge of conversations. It's just like they knew that he did this dinner, but he had to make up the speech that Trump did based on how Trump acts now. And Michael Cohen said, oh my God, if you had been at my son's bar mitzvah, what you had Trump saying in that speech to Roy Cohn is exactly he said, when we were sitting there watching it, me, my wife, and my son at the theater, because they took him to the the grand premiere. Yeah. He said we all looked at each other because it was exactly the words he used at my son's bar mitzvah. He said, I'm going to send you a clip of it because it's scary. Like the dialogue was exactly almost like he had channeled it.
Wow.
Maybe he thought he was giving the young boy good advice because Roy Cohen gave him such good advice. Had to be a maniacal pig.
Yeah, it was just this, like,
what is
you're not a good person, but you're mine. Like I control you, kind of thing. You're my bad person.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've seen AIDS patients die, and I've sat with them, and it was bad. It was the worst I've ever seen in my 35 plus years in nursing. Was the Kaposi sarcoma, the wasting,
so quickly,
skeletal,
too. Like it happened
fungus, completely out of it. Like once they got that, the brain fungus that they got, the viral one, it was so bad. It was so bad. Never saw anything like that. It's unfortunate that people had to die that way.
AIDS vibrates to a 15-6.
You're saying 6.
The devil card.
The devil card. Interesting.
It's a wonder Trump didn't catch it because he was so promiscuous.
I wonder if that's part of
the medical records we're not seeing.
Yes.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. That, and he's probably on Alzheimer's medication. There's a couple of different ones, but he's probably, that would be in there. Even if they released it, it would be completely modified.
Yeah, it would be made up. Like
it would be completely made up. They would falsify that information. It's all speculative at this point, right? Except that we know he's obviously showing symptoms of mental decline.
How about looking at Kamala's week ahead between now and the election? For Kamala.
Okay.
We only have what, a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's less than a month, right? Yeah. So 3 weeks.
It's an early vote Monday, I think.
Do you get? Yeah, I can.
The 21st.
I
can wait till Thursday if I want to do it at my local library.
I'm in a blue state, so I feel like I like to go to the polls and fill it out and walk away and feel like a proud American. I always feel so much better after I vote. I'm like, my voice has been heard.
When you get your cool sticker.
Yeah.
I'm voting in my lobby at in this neighborhood. So I'm gonna I'm working that day, but the voting is like 12 hours long, so I'll be able to hit it before I go or after I come back. Excuse is what I'm saying. There's no excuse. I wish we could find out early, though. Like everybody's doing is voting and the early voting stuff, and we don't know anything, really.
Although I was listening to Midas Touch today, and they had these guys who look at the raw data, and they're like she's doing so good.
Yeah. The raw data would be like people at the polls or because they do kind of give you a ballot that leans in that direction. Like, is that raw data? What's raw data? Just that.
Well, I think it's how many Republicans are voting.
Okay.
How many Democrats and how many Republicans are voting early?
Okay.
So I think they know it's if it's a Democrat but they broke a record in North Carolina for early voting. They broke a record in Georgia, and they were hoping to break a record in Michigan for early voting. So, and I think they're finding out that the early voting is happening with young women. I think that's the other piece that they had.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something going on, so whether it's Israel or in Palestine, I feel like there's some world events that are going to be going on between now and the election.
Yep.
That kind of, take up a lot of the news cycle. I get Kamala's doing her thing, sticking to her plan, her agenda. On the bottom here, I've got the winning at all costs. Yeah, so just pushing forward. She's quite secure. It's her time. But there's something going on. So I feel like she's got to kind of watch
Joe.
Biden a little bit, and help defend or protect him a little bit, because there's some foreign leader stirring up problems.
What'd you get? You next.
I got the 7. You got 7 of Wands. I got 7 of Pentacles. There's something defensive, taking a defense on something. It could be fire mouth. It could be fire mouth.
I mean, it could be October surprise kind of crap.
King of Wands, and then in the house, King of Wands and the 4 of Wands. So the King in the house, 9 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. You see the 9 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. So something comes up, and then I get the 6 of Swords. So it might be an idea or something, some marketing thing that moves on. And Justice. So
Jack Smith got to release all the pages of his stuff.
Okay,
Thank you to Chuck and
yeah, there's a lot of redacted stuff, but still, I think just that the first thing he's put out was probably enough. But nobody's paying attention to any of that because of this election, right? I got the Star to start, so that's positive. So there's hope. She's very aspirational. She's gonna, I think, continue on that. But then I get the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands together, right? 20. So the 10 of Swords is like the end of something, downfall, something like that. Then the oops, I can't do it. Oh, I did it again. Like complications, the entanglements, there's a lot of like heavy burden that has to, and I think it's the Middle East. I think that's what that is. And then I get the 9 of Cups, which is getting your wish, and then the Ace of Wands again, just like you did. So this is about new beginnings. So there's like, it's almost like there's some sort of like really sort of awful negative something, but it puts an end to something, and then we get these cards, getting your wish and then new beginnings. So there is definitely something happening. I think it's totally out of her control and totally out of our control. It's just something, it's like, this is happening now, this is what's going to happen, and there's going to be some but ultimately it's like we get our wish anyway.
The healing of America, finally.
Well, her shadow in her Kabbalah is the same as America's shadow, and so as she heals herself, and it's all about joy. It's all about the heart. It's all about freedom. That's actually like the theme of that vibration is freedom, the cost of freedom. It's also the path of the United States. So it's both our wound and our path. And so she's here to help us to heal the divide. I mean, she has Bernie Sanders and Dick Cheney on her side.
Yeah.
I mean,
one extreme to the other.
Influence. Holy crap.
I feel like Biden was the right one for the time to get our economy going again after what
he was
Trump
absolutely.
And I just feel like she's going to be the one that ushers back into respect for our law, because so many people don't respect our law and order anymore. Don't respect our Constitution.
I don't respect the CDC.
Yeah,
I don't. For what he made them say. I don't.
Healing our government and healing our country.
It's a lot of work.
Well, the United States is going through a Chiron return right now. And in fact, the second direct hit of the Chiron return happens on the 8th of November, just a couple of days after the election. And then it happens, I think, again in, I want to say April. And then the Chiron return is done. But That's a big deal. We have Chiron and Aries, the wound of bullying, right? Of being a bully, of getting bullied, of knowing what it feels like to be on both sides of that equation, right? And all this toxic masculinity stuff that we're seeing. I mean, the gender gap for Trump and Kamala is incredible. But you know, they're going after the Joe Rogan, you know, AFDFC, whatever that
She's
is.
fearless, going on Fox and Joe Rogan. She is fearless.
Is she going on Rogan? I think I heard this guy David Feldman said Walt should go on what's his name's show, Rogan.
They're probably afraid of her, but after what she did to Fox.
She eviscerated. I mean, I saw the wooden. She's the wood dragon. I saw the dragon. When she gets it, when she's like, she's like, and I'm just like,
she's so well spoken. I mean, as a prosecutor would be, right? She's so well spoken, and he just like, you know, his like. I don't know a lot about body language, but I know this means like stop. I can't wait when he was doing that.
I was just gonna say the pointed fingers and the directing energy. This kind of thing.
She does a good finger.
Is big time. Is so dominant. It's so alpha. You can't get it anymore.
Rude, constant interruptions. Talking over her, like he wouldn't do that to Trump. You know, he would let Trump say his spiel. She didn't have to pull a "I'm talking," but she pulled an "I'm talking."
And how many times have you done that since this is all like, please let me finish. I just need to complete this. I've done that so many times. Like, please let me finish. My kid does that to me, like that, you know. And it's a way to say you can't mow over this concept and try and spin the verb and get me to, you know, have some kind of button response. You're trying to push a button. It's passive aggressive. Let's move on. Right? I saw a little bit of that, just the bites where she really nailed them. I've been watching, you know, I just looked up my TV that I've been here a year. Sci-fi stuff, you know, like paranormal stuff, Alchemy, History Channel, Twilight Zone, right? Like this whole October theme stuff, because I feel so, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, like magnetic. And I think it's the solar thing and stuff, but it's just, there's so much around you that is really accessible. I feel right now.
We're certainly magnetized, but we can magnetize what we want to bring. See that who do I sound like? Magnification or whatever that is the potential of creativity that we can put our intention in. I mean, let's not waste this. This is such a powerful time. Let's not waste it on like worrying about what's going to happen. Let's make it happen, right? Let's put the energy to make it happen. And whatever way that you know, it's not just about the elections, but making our lives happen. It's about making democracy happen. It's about making community happen, and like taking the reins from these babies in diapers, and saying, "All right, boys, you had your 6,000 years. Now let's be reasonable here. And let's start building."
As you were talking about earlier, the toxic masculinity. It's just like Josh Hawley had to write a whole damn book on it. You know, how insecure are you if you have to write a whole book about how masculine you are?
I think the fear is women are going to strip it even further than what it's already been stripped. You know, like I feel like there's a fear there that will get stripped. When I started after college, my working career, everybody I knew, their husbands made more money. I don't know one couple whose husband makes more money than the wife. I don't know one.
I feel like women are going to swing the pendulum a little too far the other way and then kind of come back. But it's sort of deserved. Like we got to push it, way over to get things back into alignment a little.
Right. We have to equalize it. And so that's hopefully, I like to say I'm always making excuses for my generation, but hopefully we've learned to rein in the ability to neutralize extreme ideas, because we were raised in an extreme, I was raised in an extreme idealistic family. I know how these people just kind of perpetuate that. I understand that.
Total toxic masculinity in my home. Totally.
Right?
Christmas dinner, and when your father calls your mother stupid across the table, how toxic can you be?
My grandpa used to yell at my grandma, call her stupid. It was, and the first times like that was said to me, I practically lost my religion on them, because that was the one really cool thing my mom made me think for myself and allowed it. And that was critical. I couldn't really do what I wanted to do, but I could think and I could express it. And honestly, that didn't happen until later on, like when I was in my 30s.
It's funny. I actually had a different experience. My father was a lovely, gentle man. My mother was a little bit of a bully, but my father was a lovely, gentle man, and very nurturing in his way. And my mother once said to me, she said, when you meet somebody, see how they treat their mother. Yeah. If they treat their mother well, they'll treat you well. If they don't treat their mother well, they will not treat you well. And I always went by that. I think that was good advice. And Michael and my husband Michael and his mother had a very close relationship. He loved his mother. He had a little trouble with his dad, because his dad's German and they're not very demonstrative. What can you do? But yeah, so I was like, oh, he likes his mother. This is somebody I can like invest in.
Because I always wanted a dad like that.
Yeah, if I had known you back then, my dad would have definitely adopted you too, because he loved girls, because he had like 6 sisters or 8 sisters. There were 11 kids. No, there were 8 kids in his family, and there were only 2 boys. So everybody else was a sister, and he got along really well with his sisters. I think that's the key. If a man has a lot of sisters, they tend to be much better.
I don't know. My dad was a family of 10 kids, 7 sisters.
Wow.
There were only 3 boys, 7 sisters, and yet he took after his dad, who was toxic. Wow. My other grandfather, who I was very close to, he used to always say, you would have been hell if you'd been a boy. I said, I thought I was doing okay as a girl. I'm trying to give him hell. But he always encouraged them.
I think he saw your chart. That's why I said that. No. Because a male Aries is a different species than a female.
He's a male Aries. He was born on April Fool's.
Wow. I wonder how all that's going to change when my kid is trans and his friends are trans, and it's the training to change your words that come out of your face is a long process. And I wonder when that's just going to drop and it'll be more of a they, them kind of thing.
It is kind of hard. Like we stumble over our words and stuff. And when people get on our case being on YouTube for stumbling over our words, it's like, look,
I know.
I'm having to reprogram my brain here. Hang on.
I know. And whenever it comes to that, I know I'm going to be in trouble because I never get it right. And I'm like, whatever. People people person, whatever you want to be called, I'm good with that. Just if I mistake it, if I say something else, it's not an affront. It's like it doesn't fit into my brain yet.
Yeah.
Right, Jen?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
even like husband and wife, every conversation's been adjusted to partner. Even when you're checking insurance or forms and stuff, it's all like changing into sort of this neutral territory where it's really interesting. I don't know.
I think neutrality is a good place to be. Because the hyper
tolerance, bringing tolerance back, except, we don't need tolerance for white supremacy. That crap has to go.
Well, I think the line is made when as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
That's right.
Right? As long as you're not hurting anybody else. Just like, the old, like, what are you into? Well, anything, but as long as you don't hurt me, I'm good. It's just
yeah. And honestly, these white supremacists, if they tried 10 times as hard, they couldn't be half as brave as these kids are brave.
Oh,
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, I think and I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say this and probably somebody will have a better idea. But I think that hate stuff is just fear.
Yeah.
It's just fear. It's like they're so afraid that they're so wounded that the only thing they can do is strike out. And that needs healing. I mean, Chiron in Aries is the healing of the masculine. And the masculine within each of us, like even women, we all have masculine and feminine side, right? And these kids now are like showing us that you can be neither.
To understand
right?
strength is not power. To understand that strength doesn't make you more masculine,
Right.
That having the strength to engage with people that may think differently than you and everything, that takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength.
Yeah.
It takes strength to be a little vulnerable sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, in order to share, you have to have a certain amount of self-confidence. And these people don't have that. They don't have, like, they need a gun. Like, how insecure are you that you need an AR-15 to feel secure?
That's the thing
that I can't even go grocery shopping without carrying a gun.
Yeah, Jen, you lived in Tennessee. I lived in Tennessee, and there was a thing. They wanted to ban guns from bars, and that was overturned. So go ahead and bring your gun to a bar, like guns and alcohol. How can
the gun racks and all the trucks, where they keep their rifles in the gun racks just for show.
In the Old West, you weren't allowed in a bar with a gun. They had it was like, to give somebody your keys, they step, and there'd be a guy there watching the gun, so nothing.
I understand it as a crutch. I understand it as a crutch. I've had to have police officers deposit their guns in a box if they had to come into like a mental hospital. And when that gun was deposited, they shrank. So the crutch is a concept I understand for sure. But the crutch, an AR-15 as a crutch, no, I don't get that. That I don't understand. I won't.
Nobody needs an AR-15.
It's a military weapon. Somebody can use it somewhere else. Like that, we don't need a military weapon in your house. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me, but it'll get changed. It'll get changed for sure. It's almost 7:00. So we're going to kind of wrap up. I want to pull a card, just an oracle card for the week. And see,
and maybe something Jen can pick a few cards for the week ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
And tomorrow we'll do giblets, time out with giblets for the Sunday thing, which helps me kind of narrow into what's gonna, I can focus on for the week.
Or
he got a
gift life,
bath
as
today.
I call it.
He had a bath and he's mad at me right now. I had to wash the dog. I'll be sleeping on the couch again tonight because my bathroom smells like a wet dog.
That's the one thing I
smells like a wet
about
dog.
my dogs. My dogs after the rain. I don't miss that smell.
Oh, I love this. This is so cool. I'm going to put this on the thing on the altar behind me, the permanent one. Star family, you're a part of a team of souls. Call in support.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. And that's what this is what all these, what do you call it? These mass coronal ejections are bringing souls to the planet. And those souls are here to help us. They're not just waiting to be incarnated. They're here to help us at this time. We have so much help. If we want to create a better future, we have the help to do it. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to stop now. Go ahead, Jenna.
I'm getting a message for America here because I have the America card on the bottom. I'm getting lies are the strength of the Republicans because that's my Republican card. And then I think Kamala may get knocked a little bit off balance by something going on with a foreign leader.
I think it's.
I don't know what's going on in the world with a foreign leader. So whether that's Ukraine or the Middle East and what's going on, but watch for that. But there's going to be a lot of lies. So just let it go in one ear and out the other. They're going to lie.
Antoinette's granddaughter asked me if is that the inner child deck. No, it is the Starseed Oracle. Antoinette's daughter. I'm sorry about the lighting. You know, I actually Googled how do I like move this light so it's in the best position, and
get a Christmas tree.
I'm just gonna hang lights on this shit behind me. This is crazy.
It's the combination of a light in front of me and lights beside me that makes mine a little more balanced.
I'm gonna put a string of lights on the plants, and that'll be the Christmas tree. We're going to get going. We're going to be on Jenn Lynn's channel tomorrow night for the weekly Petty Boots, which
for Kamala's birthday party.
Petty Boots birthday party.
I'm going to go get a tiara. You know, I am. They're like the 99-cent store. It's Halloween. I'm on. I love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you
for having me tonight. It was so much fun being with you.
Anytime, Jen. You're an official big sister as far as I'm concerned.
I'll invite myself again.
For sure. Anytime. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, next week, every day. And every day.
Take care, everyone. Namaste.